Yo guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel for another video. Now, earlier today, obviously, it was a bit crazy with what happened in the hero market. Yeah, just nuts all around the place. But I played a lot of Weekend League on Friday. Some of you guys who have played the game, might have already played your Weekend League. I don't know. I'm recording this on like a Saturday afternoon. And I want to make a video today kind of talking about like overall the best players I saw in Weekend League or played against or played with. And yeah, if you enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up and let me know in your guys' experience, maybe someone or a couple players you played that were really good or had. Yeah, obviously I made a video a couple of weeks ago about the best player in every position, but Weekend League is a different level. It's a different breed. It's a war zone, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in Weekend League. So you need the most passionate players possible. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of go through and just talk about some players that I played against that were really good, and it'll be interesting to kind of see if you watched that video a couple weeks ago how the players differentiate or not. Obviously, guys, there's the top tier players. Like we don't need to talk about those because most of the people who watch this video don't spend their entire bank account on this game. And do the whole pay-to-win vibe. So, yeah, first of all, let's start in net. For me, there was like three main keepers that were giving me a lot of problems. Alisson was very good, and I think the reason why Alisson is so good is he's so fast, and his positioning is really good. So, I think Alisson was, for me up there this weekend. There's no keeper that was like out of this world good. I think keepers generally this year aren't as good. Thibaut Courtois is another one of those guys. I'm not gonna talk forever about the keepers. And then Lloris was also just so good. Lloris, I actually had in my Weekend League team. The only thing I actually think out of the three, Lloris is the best shot stopper. The only problem with Lloris was like I just hated his distribution. Like I could not build out of the back. I could not complete a pass with Lloris. For that intention, he was a nightmare. I couldn't use him for that reason. But other than that, those three keepers were the ones that I had the most trouble against. First week or so, I had a lot of trouble against Areola, but didn't seem to really have problems against him. I was playing him this week, and I was pretty much scoring on him, with ease. So number one center back, in my opinion, for the non-pay-to-win guys or guys rocking cheaper center backs that aren't Lucio or Maldini, Koundé is the top center back. I think he's the best center back for the gold cards in the game. There's something about him in game that is just absolutely phenomenal. And I was playing him so much in my division rivals matches this week that I had to go pick him up. You can see 27 matches, so he was mainly getting the playtime for me in FUT champs. So yeah, I bought him for the week and I had to use him. He was so good. My other center back, which I totally recommend to everybody, is Eder Militao. Now, obviously, these are the two most expensive options you're going to find. So, yeah, I mean, I don't need to talk too much about these two players. They're both just incredible, right? And the thing you notice is they're very fast. People say pace doesn't matter in this game, but I do still believe it matters for sure, especially if you want to play fast or if you want to play a formation. Like, I've been playing the 4-1-2-2 narrow, and it's just a little bit more vulnerable. So having fast center backs really makes the experience of playing this formation a lot more worth it, in my opinion. So, yeah, really like those two center backs. You've got a lot of other center backs that are good. Koulibaly, obviously very expensive, but also very good. Really like him. I've liked him all year. I talked about him in my initial video. Very strong. I wasn't a huge fan of VVD. I feel like VVD just kind of like his acceleration is just not really there. Koulibaly, though, also very expensive. You've got two other options that I really, really like. Araujo was giving me so many issues this weekend. He's got the long legs like Varane has had in the past couple of years. And he is just, he's not fun to play against. Not fun at all. So I did not enjoy playing Araujo this weekend. Shows you how good La Liga is really for center backs overall. And then another really good cheap option is definitely Joe Gomez for me. Joe Gomez is very good in this game. Really, really think Joe Gomez is good again this year. It's interesting because last year he had a better card, but this year he's been really, really hard to play against and pass. And then one final center back. I don't want to talk too much about defenders, but one final center back I would say is Tomori. Tomori also absolutely incredible. Yeah, I mean, he's kind of like what I think VVD should have been this year, but obviously EA gave VVD a bad pace split because VVD has like, I think 70 or 66 acceleration. So, he's got 86 pace, but he's got 80 acceleration and 90 sprint speed. He's got good defensive awareness at 86. Again, he's a bit more expensive. He's like 80K, I think 70K, but these are some true warriors for your Weekend League teams that are very good. Now, right back spot, I actually think there's one guy that's by far the best. I had him in my Weekend League team, And I'm obsessed with Llorente. I'm obsessed with how versatile he is. I'm obsessed with how good he is on the ball. He's very strong. You can see for me, 7 assists is a big deal. And I was actually playing him as a left back in game this weekend. So I moved him from right back to left back in game this weekend, and it really seemed to pay dividends for me. Kyle Walker also is that guy. He's really good. He's probably the most expensive out of all of these players, though. High, but very fast, good physicals, good reactions, and just overall good defending. So that's what makes Kyle Walker really special in this game. I would only really say like one other player was giving me problems this weekend, and it was Hakimi. And Hakimi was a little bit better for those like overlapping fullbacks. And you know, obviously this is weekend league stuff right here, guys. So not everybody's going to be able to afford all these players. Obviously some of them are, you know, more expensive than others, but I'm just giving you guys in my experience of who I played against this weekend or used, who is really good and kind of why. And Hakimi, I think, really offers that pace and that good dribbling opportunity. I think this year, like, build-up is so important in this game. You need to have players that you can kind of build out the back with, and I really think Hakimi helped a lot of the opponents that I played, you know, really go ahead and be able to do that. And I think, like, one other option, just kind of speaking quickly about center backs again, I actually had probably the most trouble against Kimpembe, which was surprising. I didn't really play against Marquinhos, but I actually had the most trouble going up against Kimpembe this weekend. It came out of nowhere too, because you know, this whole entire week I wasn't even really facing this guy in rivals much, and then everyone was using Kimpembe, and I was like, oh my god. So yeah, it was pretty crazy, guys. You know, playing against Kimpembe this weekend. So yeah, that's kind of most of the defensive positions. A left back spot, you know, a little bit harder, I think, to find someone that is really good. I have not loved Alfonso Davies. Now, I do feel like Davies has a lot of passion, but I'm not sure he was the best defensively. He was sometimes a bit in game just making mistakes that I really just didn't expect him to do. So for me, Davies was like a little bit underwhelming. I'm not sure if I'm going to put him in this video. As much as I like Davies in real life, something for me this year with Davies like hasn't clicked on FIFA. I think Cancelo is good, but I started to notice even in weekend league a little bit, Cancelo's like a little slow for the position. It seems like you want to have that high 80s in pace. Theo Hernandez was by far the best left back. I still feel like his card last year was a little bit better, but by far I think he was the best left back that you can get, guys. He was so good. And then Ferland Mendy, I think, is better than last year, which is saying something because Mendy has been so good for years now. So yeah, Mendy is just, he's that guy, right? Don't let anyone tell you he's not. He's got the high, and more importantly, he's got the 5-star weak foot. I played against Mario Rui. I played against Acuna. They were not that good. Wasn't impressed there. And, you know, as you can see, the left back spot is a little bit more limited. I actually don't even think Nuno Mendes was that good. Malacia was pretty good, and that's interesting because I've just said, like, you know, obviously I think pace is a little bit more valuable, but yeah, for a budget squad, you know, he was very good. Anyone that I played against with a Prem team, he was very good. And I think it's because he has good balance and good agility. So it was a lot easier to build out the back with him. All right, let's talk about center mids. I usually run these videos for 30 minutes, so I'm really trying my best not to. And obviously, you know, with FUT Champs, guys, it's so situational because you can only play against so many players and use so many players. So obviously, I'm not going to just list like everybody in the game if I didn't play against them or if I didn't use them. So Kessie, by far, like story of week in League One was that Kessie is the guy. If you didn't do this card, that's fine because you can still get the gold card. You might actually regret not doing this card because I think Barca should get at least, hopefully, some upgrades. I think they're going to win 3 out of, or maybe they only need 2 now, but I think they're going to definitely get that done. But yeah, I mean, Kessie with any type of upgrades this year, I'm getting slight vibes of just Paqueta, Fofana, players that I missed out on in the past. It's something about this card. Every time my opponents were using him, it was a pain to get past the midfield. His ability to just kind of defend and intercept balls, it just gave a vibe of you're just constantly annoyed playing this card, right? And he really offers that well. So, yeah, this card was out of this world good. And I got to use him off my bench. I actually didn't start him, but he was really good. I think Kante is definitely back. Playing against Kante, like, I was losing it. I don't know if he's as good as last year, but I played against the guy with Kante and Kessie, and I was just in the mud. I was just in my head. You guys know how it goes when you're playing FIFA. You're losing your freaking mind. That's what was happening to me when I was playing against these two guys. 93 aggression with 95 stamina. 90 defensive awareness with 92 balance. What a player. What a player Kante is yet again in this game. Other than that, a couple other center mids that I really like. De Bruyne, for more of that like ball playing center mid, was really good. When I played against him, he was good. When I had him, he was good. So yeah, De Bruyne played like a whole weekend league with me. I loved him. I would only say the downside with him is that he is a little bit slow, and I only started to notice it in weekend league. When I started playing weekend league, I'm like, wow, he's a little bit slower than what I had wanted out of De Bruyne. So I think that's where his inform is going to hopefully make more sense for some people, and because he's a little bit faster, and hopefully his informs to come. By the way, this guy in real life, he's just so good. Like every weekend I watch De Bruyne, he's playing insane. He's running by people. He's so strong. He plays the perfect pass. This dude is on another level for like years now. Like this guy's so impressive. All right, moving on. Player of the month, Valverde. He's got a card on the market, but player of the month, Valverde, very good. Very, very good. I've completed him. I really like him. Obviously, you know, his road to the final card is like, I think 700K. So that's a different story, but love Valverde. I was actually playing him as a right back. Look at what Valverde's done for me though. You guys got to think about it. As a fullback, that is very impressive. 9 goals and 21 assists is really crazy for a fullback. So I was getting a lot of usage out of my right back, and Valverde was just providing a ton of action for us this weekend. So he was nothing short of great. Really, really, really did enjoy him in this weekend league. And I'm just going to switch to a 4-3-2-1 because I feel like the story this weekend was actually just the center mids, man. The amount of good center mids that I was going up against this weekend was a lot. Renato Sanchez is definitely there. I didn't use him, but was playing against him. Not as annoying as like a Kante or a Kessie, but definitely, you know, a guy that provided a lot going forward and had the defensive capability as well. So Renato Sanchez definitely in the discussion. Obviously not talking about any, like, you know, the crazy icons or anything. Luca Modric was not a player that I had trouble against, like trying to get past. That's more of the Kessie and Kante vibe, but he was amazing on the ball. And there's certain players this year like Modric, Bernardo Silva. These guys are so hard to take off the ball that they are a real pain to play against. I know a lot of people are talking about like Toni Kroos and some of these slower players, but I didn't really play them, so I can't comment on that. I played against De Jong. I didn't really have any issues playing against him. Didn't see Milinkovic-Savic. Didn't see Barella. A lot of people were using La Liga teams, and I think it's the way the new chem system is working this year. I did see Pedri, so I was seeing a lot of the similar teams this year. Many of the midfields that I played against was just like Kessie and De Jong. Last player that I would mention that I found in this weekend league was annoying was definitely Tonali. These Milan players are not easy to play against, and you already know when you're playing those Serie A teams that people are going to bring the passion, and that was not shocking. That was not surprise to me. I know how FIFA goes. This is what happens when you play a Serie A team. It's going down. Yeah, we played against a lot of Serie A teams, and it was not easy. So yes. Now, obviously, guys, they changed the 4-3-2-1 this year, so we'll just go 4-3-3. And we're going to miss some players, guys, but I'm just kind of talking about who I really thought was just a GOAT, right? Was really, really, really good. Left wing, there was only like a couple left wings that were that crazy. Now, the number one guy that was annoying was definitely Neymar. Neymar was really annoying to play against. I had him on my team. He's amazing. The only time he really sells you is that he's not as fast as he used to be in FIFA. He can't really just run away from defenders anymore. So that's why I actually think he's a better cam. And then he's also a little bit whacked with the shot power, man. He was missing some shots for me that I was like, dude, you got to put that in. And I'm wondering if it's because now his stat is under 80, right? It's 79 and it used to be higher. If that's just a big difference. Like, is this 80s to 70s difference massive? It could be, right? So that's potentially a reason why, you know, Neymar is, you know, not as good as he used to be. It's a potential reason. I've just X'd out, by the way. Great. That's great. But yeah, potentially a reason why he's not as, you know, you guys like to say him as he used to be. Now, Son is amazing. Son is that guy. Son is the best goal scorer I've seen in this game, and I've used Haaland. And I think Son is better because he's a little bit faster to shoot the shots. Responsiveness is a little bit better. For some reason, this guy, I think it's the finesse trait, it's the long shot taker. He does not miss chances. So I am in love with Son in this game, and I probably need to try his inform because I love his goal that much. I've probably got to try his inform. I have been frying with him, and it feels good, man. The only time I ever got a 30-0 was when I had Neymar, De Bruyne. I had some of these players in this team that were in that team, and, you know, it's just fitting. And I've always used Son over the years in FIFA, so I'm a huge fan of Son. Now, I'm going to declare Coleman as the clutchest player in this game. I scored countless goals off the bench with him. He's been my favorite super sub in FIFA 23 so far. He just does special things. He does very special things in this game. He's got this. I swear, anytime EA gives somebody 5-star skills, they just become incredible. I don't know what happens. I don't know what EA's doing. Every time I play someone with 5-star skills or play against them, they're just magically insane, right? It just keeps happening. Can't explain it. Don't know why. Another player that, was really good, Max. Was a little bit surprised because I wasn't seeing him in Rivals as much, but anytime I played somebody really sweaty with Max, it was just not an easy game. It was never an easy game against Max this weekend. Dribbling, I think they made a buff with dribbling, where if they had overall under 90 dribbling, the card was like just more responsive. Now, the one thing I hate about the way EA does their patch notes is they don't tell you like actual values, but they said they improved dribblers that had under 90 dribbling base. And like, I feel like that happened just around the time that I started playing Max in Weekend League, and I went back to losing my mind playing against Max. So yeah. Danjuma also, I know he just got an SBC today, so that's actually why I'm really excited to see how he is. But Danjuma was crazy. I mean, this guy's like, I think he's a couple thousand coins. He's nuts in game. High medium for Danjuma, and 4-star. He's just really good, and was able to play a lot of positions too, which I always find is like just really useful, right? It's like what you're exactly looking for. Let me just see and make sure I didn't miss anybody, but these are the guys off the top of my head that just gave me a lot of problems. I didn't really have problems with Mane. Carrasco was pretty good. I did play him once or twice. I do think Carrasco was good. I did not see Timo Werner. That's all for the left mids. Is there any left wings that we're missing here? Let's go ahead and check it out. Didn't play against any of these players. Played against Vinny. Didn't have problems against Vinny. I don't know. Didn't have problems against Vinny. I know Vinny is a problem. Just sharing for you guys who I think is the players that I had the most issues with. But Vinny would definitely be in that top category of players. Had problems with Luis Diaz the first week, but I feel like once I kind of got in my team, same thing with Zaha. Once I got in my team, Koundé and Militao now, I'm not having problems with those players anymore. So maybe that's, a tip to you guys. If you're looking to upgrade your center backs, look no further. You know the options. You know who's going to be good. Right wing position. I'm going to be honest, guys. I've not had problems with Messi. I've just not. Now, I know he's in the category of great players, and I would say the same thing with Salah. I've not had issues with either of those players. The right wing that had the most trouble for me this weekend was Dembele. Most trouble was Dembele, and I think it's because he offers the 5-5 and the pace, so he becomes very unpredictable. You can't really predict where this card is going to exit, when he's going to shoot, and I think that's what makes a card so valuable in FUT. Not to mention, he's also cheaper than Salah and Messi, and, that's always good when you got not an OP player, but a player that's definitely overperforming what he should. Definitely nice to see that. Other players that are really good. This guy is amazing. Rafinha is so good. Rafinha this weekend was the only other right wing. I didn't even see Anthony. I didn't even play against him. I didn't play against Lucas Moura. I didn't play Rodrigo. But Rafinha is so good in this game. I don't know what it is. His road to the knockout card must be out of this world. It's his left stick dribbling, and I said a week ago, I was like, I don't think work rates matter that much this year. They do. All right, this guy has high, and he is nuts. He's so good because of that. I think it's the high. I think when you put anyone out wide, and I really like left-footed players on the right side. I know the outside foot is really meta cutting in, but there's again always this unpredictability when it comes to wing players, or if you have the opposite foot, it just makes them a little bit more unpredictable. Other than that, Diaby would be probably the last player I'd put here. And you know what's really interesting about the right side is all these players are cheaper, right? Like Rafinha, Diaby, and Dembele are all cheaper in comparison to a lot of the other options. So Diaby genuinely, I think, has the best dribbling in the game. I could not take the ball off him. Anytime I played somebody with Diaby, just couldn't take the ball. I had to admit that I was screwed and I had no chance. And sometimes that's just what it is. So yeah. And then at the striker position, there's a couple players here, right? There's a lot of good strikers in this weekend league. I personally just did not have problems with Ronaldo. I had problems with Haaland. Haaland was a troublemaker, and we all know how good Haaland is in this game. We don't even need to talk about it. It's past the point of, oh, is this the meta this year? Where yes, Haaland is very good. You don't need to say anything more. Haaland is just that guy. His scoring ability is nuts. Now, this is a bit surprising to a lot of you. Benzema is very good. I had him. I liked him, but then at Weekend League, I didn't love him. Now, Benzema is very good for the Trivela shots and holding L2. If you play a little bit faster like me, you're not going to love him, but very good. A little sluggish in the Weekend League, so I was a little disappointed with that, but oh my God, is this card good? Now, I feel like in my experience of trying him, I wasted him. I played him as a center mid. This guy is a cam, striker, or center forward. 100%. This dude is incredible in this game. He was scoring left-footed shots against me. His R1 dribbling is nuts. This is like behind Kessie, my number 2 of players I played this weekend that drove me crazy. Anytime I saw this card, I was losing my mind. And it's because he's also got the outside foot, the flair, and finesse, so he can do it all. Don't sleep on this card, and Nkunku is literally nuts. Depay was also very good against me this weekend, so just to mention, Depay was very good. Didn't play against Felix. Now, Mbappe is more pay to win than he's ever been. He is so nuts. In the games, I played a guy this weekend who had Mbappe, and he did not know how to do anything other than through ball to Mbappe. And even with Militao and Koundé, 86 pace center backs, I couldn't do anything. I was screwed. I couldn't do anything. I was so screwed. So yeah, Mbappe, 93 finishing, he doesn't miss, 93 agility, and 97 acceleration with 92 attack positioning. He is just that guy. Mbappe's back again this year. He's out of this world. And then remaining strikers, you know, these are the main groups of players that I just had a nightmare against this weekend. I didn't have problems against Lewandowski. I only had a problem with Kane and rivals. Kane, if you play slow, is going to be very similar to that Immobile, Benzema vibe. You can totally use those players and do well. Ben Yedder and Fekir definitely need to be mentioned in this video. Like, I did not actually play against Ben Yedder and Fekir in the weekend league, but they are definitely players that are incredibly good. Correa and Delafeu also very good. Delafeu has that 4-star combination, 94 agility, and then Correa is very good. Correa is a little bit more of a cam, whereas Delafeu has that 93 pace where he can really get in behind, so he's very good for that too. And then, you know, so Ben Yedder, Fekir, we spoke about those. Two players I want to talk to you guys about right now, and I'm going to show you guys exactly who they are. All right, these are the last two players of our video. Rashford. Now, I couldn't make it work with Rashford, and I think what happened was that EA made this patch with dribbling this week, and he got better because he has less than 90 dribbling. He was a little stiff for me when I did his player of the month, and I just didn't love him. He was missing some shots that I thought he could make. Right? I need to give him another go because he was driving me nuts this weekend. Every time I played against Rashford, he had like a brace. So very annoying. And then the last player I'm going to mention is Nunez. All right? And the reason why Nunez is so OP is he's lengthy. I couldn't figure it out, but this is the fakest 67 balance I've ever seen. This guy is a problem in this game. Problem. And I'm hoping that Holding is ones to watch. I'm hoping he's going to get an upgrade at some point because whenever Nunez does get in form, I think he is going to go up a lot because I think he's going to be a lot better than he is already, and he's very good. So yeah, guys, these were the players that for me had a lot of trouble against in the weekend league. I think it's not going to be a surprise to too many of you, but I just wanted to kind of throw it in review. And obviously I've missed some, but I just wanted to talk strictly like my first weekend league, who I played that was really good, because I think a lot of these players can help you guys upgrade your teams or start to set goals for players you want to pack or obtain. Thanks for watching the video, guys. I appreciate it. If you enjoyed it, drop a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.